Our main character today is a talented actor that I met 3 years ago for the promotion of his hit TV show The Nick, directed by Steven Soderbergh and co-starring Clive Owen.
We live in a time of endless possibility. From such humble beginnings through the astonishing modern world in which we now live.
But know this. You come back. You come back as subordinate to me, with the full respect and deference that implies.
I think I'll come back when the chief of surgery returns.
I'm acting chief now, and I intend to make that permanent.
Andre Holland is an American actor that we have seen in films such as Selma, Oscar winner Moonlight, A Wrinkle in Time, as well as hit TV productions such as American Horror Story and Castle Rock.
It felt nice to finally meet Dominic in person.
He also works for a second time with director Steven Soderbergh in the upcoming sports drama High Flying Bird. One of his latest transformations is Othello on the stage of the Shakespeare Globe Theatre in London, where Andre spent a few months.
Tell me about your experience in London and your experience with Shakespeare. It's quite a challenge that you've taken on.
Wonderful so far. We have a great cast of actors, and they've been really, really generous with showing me around and taking me to good restaurants and helping me to get to know the city. And then also working on the play has been it's been really challenging, but it's also been really, really rewarding. It's been a dream of mine to work at the Globe for a long time, so I'm really lucky.
What's the hardest part about being Othello?
Probably experiencing the devastation every night. Going through the sort of destruction of a relationship and then having to commit a murder every night is emotionally draining.
But isn't that part of the entire process why you decided to become an actor? The emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't think you really understand. Well, I didn't really understand exactly what it meant when I decided to become an actor at a very young age. And I think each part, you tend to go to a deeper level, to a different level with it, So what I thought Othello was before I did Othello was very different from what I'm learning every night that it actually is. It's actually much more devastating than I thought.
In comparison to film and TV, how is the experience on the stage?
It's totally different. I mean, it's, the work is the same in terms of the preparation for the most part, but the big difference I would say is vocally, in that space, especially where there's no, amplification at all. We really have to use our voices in a strong way and be very specific about how we're taking care of our voices. So that's one of the big differences, probably the biggest difference for me right now.
I got a call from Shawshank. They found a kid in a cage.
Call from who?
Don't know yet.
How's it, big gun?
You and I met 3 years ago when you were promoting The Nick.
Yeah.
Then you have another successful TV show now, Castle Rock.
Yeah.
What is it like to be part of something that, this is okay, theater, you do this for a few months, but TV show is very similar, only that it's filmed. You do it for 3 months. It's just not the same thing that you do every day.
Yeah.
So what was your experience with that, with Castle Rock? I mean, you had The Nick before. Did you compare the two of them, or?
Yeah, I mean, I did in a way, because I haven't done a ton of television or a ton of film. I'm still, finding my way. But The Nick was such a unique experience working with Steven Soderbergh, who, he's such a master. He works, really specifically, really fast. As well, we would cover sometimes 7, 8, 10 pages in a day. And oftentimes be done in 8 or 10 hours, which is really unheard of. Whereas on Castle Rock, granted it's a totally different show and a different experience, our days tended to be a bit longer. Also, I was the lead in Castle Rock, whereas in The Nick,
yes,
I was an important character, but not the lead character. So I think that comes with also a certain burden that I had never done before. So although the experiences were very different, they were both really rewarding, and I learned a lot on both.
now. You have no idea what's happening here, do you?
In Castle Rock, you expect something bad to happen all the time.
Yeah.
As an actor, how do you prepare for that? Like, do you know that's what's going to happen?
Not really. In Castle Rock, you know, we would, I had a sense of what would happen, but the writers were always, you know, rewriting and reinventing. So every time we got a new script, it was, you know, it was a complete surprise as to what was going to happen. Whereas on the Nick, we had all 10 episodes up front, so we knew what the story was going to be. And it changed a bit here and there, but overall it stayed pretty much intact. So yeah, we often were surprised and scared as the audience was on Castle Rock.
You can't keep using your father's disappearance as an excuse to act out, Meg.
You were also one of the very few males in an all-female cast. A Wrinkle in Time.
Oh yeah. yeah.
That was that. That's a very magical, totally different world from Castle Rock, The Nick, or Othello.
Yeah, no, very different. It was so much fun. Ava DuVernay, I think, is a genius, and she's such a wonderful woman. And getting a chance to work with her again, that was our, I think, third time working together. And hopefully not the last. I have a feeling it won't be the last. But it was a really wonderful experience, you know, and to see how she is with the crew. Her crew is so diverse and so, you know, inclusive and interesting that you walk on set and it's like, oh, it was like being in someone's living room, you know. It was really special to be a part of it.
What was the feeling to get on the stage for the Oscars? And what was the feeling when they got it wrong, the name?
Yeah. It was an incredible night. I remember the moment when they announced it, you know, when they announced La La Land, and we all were excited, obviously, because we'd gotten to know that crew so well just throughout the sort of press tour. And then when they, you know, made the mistake, I think we all were just in a state of complete and utter shock. And that state of shock lasted for the rest of that night and probably the next few weeks. It wasn't until, you know, much later that I sort of realized what happened and really took it in. But it was really amazing. And also to think that a small film like Moonlight that was made for so little money and in so little time can have the impact that it has had is just feels really special to me to be a part of that.
What you looking at me like that for? What, man? Come on, you just drove down here? Yeah.
I'm gonna take a break after the play.
And do what?
Well, I'm not sure. I think I want to write some. I definitely want to read a lot. There's a massive stack of books that I have in my apartment that I've been wanting to get to and I just haven't had time. So I think I'm gonna travel somewhere warm by the sea, bring some books and a bunch of paper because I'm obsessed with paper and pens, and just read and write and take a little time for myself.
So if you weren't an actor, you would be what?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. Maybe something related to social justice, I would say. A community organizer, or maybe a lawyer, or some sort of an activist. You know, I feel really fired up in that arena these days. So something like that would probably be how I would spend my time.
How does your family feel about your success?
They're really great. They're really excited about it. One of the best parts is that I get to bring like my parents to, you know, places like London and to these fancy parties and cool things that I get to go to, and it's really special to me to get to share that with them. And they're really excited. They get to tell their friends about it, and they all have these viewing parties when Castle Rock comes on or when The Nick was on. One of the best things was when I did this movie 42 a few years ago. It was the first sort of, you know, big film I've been in. And my mother and some of her friends from our community, I'm from Alabama, a very small community, they organized this group of 120 or so people who all got together, went to our local movie theater. They bought from somewhere a red carpet and got a poster of the movie, and they invited everybody to come. And I wasn't able to be there, unfortunately, but they took pictures and videos and made a real event of it. And so that really touched me, to know that it meant that much to really celebrate it.
My last question is, what is the craziest thing that has happened to you since you've become famous, like a crazy stalker, crazy fan, crazy letter, crazy request?
You know, I mean, fortunately, I've kind of swerved a lot of that stuff. I haven't had a lot of, you know, crazy things. I mean, there is, every once in a while, things will show up in my apartment that in New York, which is a little scary because I'm not
How do
sure.
they know your address?
I have no idea, but I've gotten scripts sent to me, and I've gotten a few odd letters sent. So, but I'm moving soon, so hopefully that won't happen.
They won't find you at the warm place where you're gonna read your books.
Exactly. There's a lot of warm places by the sea, so good luck. But other than that, people have been mostly really cool and really kind to me, and accepting of me, which really makes me feel good.
And they call it
People say
Lonesome Town,
every inch of this town
where the broken heart stays,
is stained with someone's sin.
and the only price you pay.
I always thought the devil was just a metaphor. God help me, I did.